Hello friends, myself Prashant Kohli, Assistant Professor in Chemistry. Dear friends, in the last video we discussed about valence bond theory. Basically, valence bond theory is related to form the bonding of complexes. In the introductory part, we discuss about postulates of valence bond theory. Simultaneously, we also understood the concept of hybridization, as well as we also discuss the valence electron configuration for d block elements that will be useful to solve the problems based on valence bond theory. Dear friends, in this valence bond theory, we will interact today about the bonding in complexes for tetrahedral, octahedral and square planar complexes. So this topic is included for UG chemistry student as well as X12 chemistry student. So depending upon this topic, there are several questions can be asked in the examination, like magnetic property of the complexes with the help of spin only formula, how many number of unpaired electrons are present in the complex, then geometry, hybridization of the complexes can be solved from the knowledge of valence bond theory. So we interact here simultaneously bonding in complexes for tetrahedral, octahedral and square planar complexes. So let us start the bonding in complexes for tetrahedral complexes. Friends, you can see this chart that giving the information about the valence electron configuration of d block elements. So we can see that in d block element there are 4 series, 3d, 4d and 5d series. But basically in while solving the problems, or if you see the question paper and examination pattern, then most of the time they ask the question related to the bonding of complexes from 3d series elements, and you should know what is the valence electron configuration of particular element present in the particular series. So these are the 10 groups giving the valence electron configuration. So you can see that, so these are the various 3d, 4d and 5d series that have various elements which have the electronic configuration. So we can see that for example manganese, which is having atomic number 25 and it has a valence electron configuration 3d5 and 4s2. So total 7 valence electron for this group, which consisting the elements manganese, technetium and rhenium. So we have to keep in mind that the elements present in the same group will have the same number of valence electron, only the orbital number will be changed. If you know the valence electron configuration for 3d series, ultimately you can know the valence electron configuration for 4d as well as for 5d series. So this is very important chart and it will require while solving the problem that are based on the valence bond theory. So let us start the concept of hybridization for tetrahedral complexes. So initially we will discuss about the tetrahedral complexes. So here is the first example. So most of the time question will appear like give the structure and bonding and magnetic property of NiCl4 complex on the basis of valence bond theory. So what are the basic steps that are required to solve the problems based on the valence bond theory? So here is the first example, NiCl4 2 minus complex. So you can see the complex. So initially what we have to do, that is calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom in the complex. So here you can see that the central metal atom is a nickel, and we have to calculate the oxidation state of nickel in this complex. So assume the oxidation state you don't know for nickel as X. The natural charge present on the chloro ligand is a -1. So there are 4 chlorine ligands. So -1 into 4 to the equal sign, to the RHS of equal sign, write down the charge present on the complex, that is -2. Do the algebraic sum. So x minus 4 is equal to -2. By shifting this -4 to the RHS, it will become a positive quantity. So -2 plus 4, that is a +2. So the oxidation state for Ni is +2 in this complex. Now see the atomic number of nickel, that is a 28, and valence electron configuration of nickel is 3d8 4s2. Now we just calculated the oxidation state of nickel in this complex, that is a +2. So that is a Ni+2 ion. Now as we know that the nickel has lost its 2 electrons, and obviously the 2 electrons will lose from the 4s orbital. According to n plus L rule, the 4s orbital has a least energy, so the electrons will be loose from 4s orbital. Now how many electrons we have? So we have 8 electrons into the 3d orbital of nickel, and the valence electron configuration of Ni2 plus will be 3d8 4s0. So in the next step, formation of NiCl4 on the basis of valence bond theory. Now to form this complex NiCl4 on the basis of VBT, firstly we will have to consider the valence electron count of this nickel +2 ion. Now we have just seen that the nickel +2 has 3d8 configuration. Now very important point related to the bonding of this complex. So the metal atom nickel will make available the empty orbitals, and that is equivalent to the coordination number of the complex, because while considering the bonding of this complex, we have to, the metal atom simply will empty the next higher energy orbitals to accommodate the lone pair of electrons that will be donated by the ligands. So here you can see that the coordination number of the complex is 4. So the metal atom nickel will empty the 4 orbitals, next higher energy orbitals, to accommodate the electrons, and that will be donated by the ligand. So consider here the electronic configuration of Ni2 plus in the ground state. So we know that in ground state Ni+2 has now 8 electrons in the 3d orbital. So we have just filled the 8 electrons into the 3d orbital. Now 4s and 4p is the next orbital which is empty. By giving the 2 electrons, losing the 2 electron from this 4s orbital, it is an empty orbital now, and within this 3d orbital we have keep the electrons, that is the ground state configuration of nickel. Now we can see that the electronic configuration of Ni2 plus in the excited state. Now in this excited state, the metal atom will make available the empty orbitals. So we have just seen that the coordination number of the complex is 4. So the nickel will available the 4 empty orbitals, that are next empty orbitals next to the 3d orbital. So 3d orbital is already containing the 8 electrons, and next energy orbitals are 4s and 4p. Here you can see that the 4 orbitals are evacuated by this nickel metal atom. So within these 4 orbitals, the chlorine or chloro ligand will donate the lone pair of electrons, and the metal will keep these electrons into these empty orbitals. So in the next step, that is the formation of NiCl4 molecule. We can see that the 3d orbital is accommodated by the 8 electrons, and here we have filled the electrons that are donated by the chloro ligands. So these 2 electrons from one chlorine, another chlorine, another chlorine, and another chlorine. So in this way, 4 chlorine donated the 8 electrons into the 4s and 4p orbitals. So basically you can see that what is the hybridization of this complex. So we have used 1s orbital of metal and 3p orbital of the metal. Again the hybridization is sp3. Now the next question is that what is the possible geometry for this complex. So geometry of NiCl4, we have seen that the hybridization of this complex is sp3, and hence the geometry of the molecule will be tetrahedral. So depending upon the hybridization, geometry will be assigned to the particular complex. So you can see that what kind of the geometry is a tetrahedral. So NiCl4 is a tetrahedral molecule, and you can see that the 4 chlorines are attached in the periphery of nickel. So this is a tetrahedral complex NiCl4. Now next part is to calculate the magnetic property of the complex. So here is a magnetic property of NiCl4 molecule. This can be calculated from the formula, that is mu s is equal to under root of n into n plus 2. So how to calculate the magnetic property? Basically the mu s is called as a spin only formula. Here you can see the d orbital where the number of unpaired electron can be found. So the value will be equivalent to the n. So what is that n? The number of unpaired electrons. You can see the d orbital to count the number of unpaired electrons. So in NiCl4 molecule there are 2 unpaired electrons in the d orbital of metal. Hence we will assume the value of n as 2. You can see that the 2 unpaired electrons are here. You see the d orbital and just count the total number of unpaired electrons. So unpaired electrons are 2. So here you can put the value of n as 2. So that is the formula under root mu s is equal to square root of n into n plus 2. That is equation 1. So put the value of n as 2 in this formula. So square root of 2 into 2 plus 2. So that will be corresponds to 2 into 4, that is the square root of 8, and square root of s is equal to 2.82 Bohr magneton. So mu s value, that is a magnetic property, is a 2.82 Bohr magneton for NiCl4 complex. Now we have just seen that there are 2 unpaired electrons present in the complex, hence NiCl4 is a paramagnetic molecule. So most of the time question appear in the exam that what is the magnetic property of NiCl4 molecule, or they can ask any complex. On the basis of that you will have to apply this formula, and from this formula you are able to calculate the magnetic property of the complex. At the same time we can see the another example that is based on the valence bond theory. So give the structure or give the bonding in MnCl4 complex, give the bonding and magnetic property with the help of valence bond theory for MnCl4 complex. Again, in every this type of question, what is important point? We have to calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom. So here is a complex, that is MnCl4 2 minus. So what is our first job? That is to calculate the oxidation state. Now we have also seen previously in coordination compounds. You can see the videos of coordination compounds, and I have also solved more number of examples that how to calculate the oxidation state of central metal atom. So whenever there is a charge on the complex, give the equal sign and write down that charge, whatever it may be, negative or positive. So here is a negative charge is present on the complex, that is -2. So give the equal sign and write down that charge. Now for manganese, assume the X plus charge of the chlorine, that is -1 into 4 is equal to -2. So X minus 4 is equal to -2. So shift this -4 to the equal sign, that is RHS. So X is equal to -2 plus 4. So by doing the algebraic sum, the value of X is +2, and that +2 is simply oxidation state of manganese in MnCl4 complex. So that is what you can see. Now consider the atomic number of manganese, that is 25, and valence electron configuration of manganese is 3d5 4s2. So you see the initially we have discussed that chart, and from that chart you can simply know the valence electron count for particular metal. Here is manganese, which has atomic number 25 and valence electron count is 3d5 4s2. So here for manganese 2 plus we will consider the valence electron configuration, that is 3d5 4s0. Now let us consider the formation of MnCl4 on the basis of valence bond theory. To form the manganese tetrachloride complex, we will consider the valence electron configuration for manganese +2, that is 3d5 4s0. the metal atom manganese also make available the empty orbitals that will again equivalent to the coordination number of the complex. Here you can see that the 4 monodentate ligands, that is chloroligands, are attached to the manganese, and hence the coordination number of this complex is also 4. So we have to, the particular metal, that is manganese, in this complex will empty the next higher energy orbitals. It will evacuate these 4 orbitals so that the chloroligands can donate the lone pair of electrons within these empty orbitals. So formation of MnCl4 on the basis of valence bond theory. So we will consider the ground state configuration of manganese. Here you can see that the ground state configuration of manganese is 3d5 4s0. Now we can see that there are 5 unpaired electrons in the 3d orbital, and 4s and 4p, these 2 orbitals are empty. So let us consider the electronic configuration of manganese plus 2 in the excited state, that is 3d5 4s0. So again there is no change in the 3d orbital, so 5 electrons will remain as it is, and you can consider the availability of 4 empty orbitals from, that is manganese, that is 4s and 4p. These are the 4 orbitals that are make available by the manganese. So in this step, that is the formation of MnCl4 complex, again the d orbital will not change, its electrons will remain as it is. So now you can see that the 4s and 4p orbitals are filled by the electrons, that is a lone pair of electrons donated by the chloroligands. So one chloroligand will donate the 2 electrons. So in this way the 4 chloroligands will donate the 8 electrons, and these 8 electrons will be distributed here into the 4s and 4p orbital. Again you can see that we have used the 1s, that s orbital of that particular metal, and 3p orbitals of metal manganese, and hence the hybridization is sp3 again. Now if we consider the geometry of the complex MnCl4, so here hybridization of MnCl4 is sp3, hence geometry of the molecule will be tetrahedral. So this is what the concept. So again previously also we seen the geometry of the molecule is the tetrahedral. Again the shape of the molecule or geometry of the molecule is looking like this tetrahedral. One manganese is surrounded by the 4 chlorines in a tetrahedral environment. So simply we can also calculate the magnetic property of MnCl4 molecule, again by the same formula mu s, that is a spin only formula, under root of n into n plus 2. So why this formula mu s is called as a spin only formula? Because here only the spinning motion of electron is considered for the generation of magnetic property in the complex. So that is called as a mu s formula, that is spin only formula. Only the spinning motion of electron will be contributed for the generation of magnetic property. So that is called as a mu s. Here again we can consider the value of n from the d orbital of metal. So n is the number of unpaired electrons, that electrons can be taken up from the d orbital. In MnCl4 molecule again we can consider how many unpaired electrons are there. So you just see the d orbital and there are 5 unpaired electrons. So put the value of n is equal to 5 into the equation 1. So mu s is equal to under root of n into n plus 2, that is what, 5 into 5 plus 2, so that is 5 into 7, that is square root of 35, and the value mu s is equal to 5.91 Bohr magneton. So again we can see that there are 5 unpaired electrons in the complex MnCl4, hence this complex is highly paramagnetic. The paramagnetic complexes are also called as spin free complexes or high spin complexes. So here you can see that the MnCl4 is a paramagnetic complex because there are 5 unpaired electrons are present in the complex. Next example we will consider about the NiCO4. Now NiCO4 is a very famous molecule, that is again the tetrahedral complex. In this example we will consider the bonding in this complex based on the valence bond theory. So here you can see that the nickel metal is attached to the 4 carbonyl ligands. The CO molecule, that is carbon monoxide, in terms of ligand is called as a carbonyl, and that carbonyl is a neutral ligand. So hence there is no charge is present on this carbonyl ligand molecule. So whenever the metal atom is attached to the only neutral ligands, in that case we assume the oxidation state of central metal atom is 0. So hence there will be no need to calculate the oxidation state of nickel here in this complex. We will assume the oxidation state of nickel in this complex as a 0. So moving further, the atomic number of nickel is 28 and valence electron configuration of nickel is 3d8 and 4s2. As we seen that the valence electron configuration of nickel is 3d8 4s2 and also the oxidation state is 0. So all the electrons can be considered for the bonding purpose of this complex. So formation of NiCO4 on the basis of valence bond theory. To form this nickel tetracarbonyl complex on the basis of VBT, we will consider the valence electron configuration of nickel, that is 3d8 4s2. Again this metal atom will make available the empty orbitals, that will equivalent to the coordination number of the complex. Here again we can see that the coordination number of the complex is 4 because 4 monodentate ligands are attached to the nickel metal. So hence the coordination number is 4. So let us consider the formation of NiCO4 on the basis of valence bond theory. So valence electron configuration of nickel is 3d8 4s2 in the ground state. So we will consider the 8 electrons in the 3d orbital as well as there are 2 electrons in the 4s orbital. So let us consider the next step, that is valence electron configuration of nickel in the excited state. Here in excited state, the nickel atom will make available the empty orbitals, that will be equivalent to the coordination number of the complex. We have just seen that the coordination number of this complex is 4. So hence the nickel will make available the 4 empty orbitals, that is the next energy orbitals, higher energy orbitals, that is the 4s and 4p orbitals. So the coordination number is 4, hence the available number of orbitals are also 4. Now friends, in this chapter we will also interact one more basic concept that was not previously explained by another theories like Werner theory or Silvik electronic theory. So what is the important point? In this theory, one important point is considered, that is a basically the strong field and weak field ligands. So whenever there is a strong field ligand in the complex, it forces to pair up the inner unpaired electrons and it tries to shift its electrons into the inner d orbitals because of its strong ligand effect. So whenever the ligand is stronger, if there are unpaired electrons in the complex, it forces these inner unpaired electrons to get pair up and shifts its electrons into the inner d orbital. That is the important point. And here you can see that because the carbonyl is a stronger ligand according to the spectrochemical series, so the 4s electron are shifted to the 3d orbital, and as well as you can see that the 2 unpaired electrons previously are now paired in the excited state configuration. So why this has happened? Because the carbonyl is a very stronger ligand, and because of this strong ligand effect, the unpaired electron will be forced to pair up, as well as the 4s electrons are shifted to the 3d orbital. Now you can see that the 3d orbital is completely accommodated by the electrons, and here there is now availability of 4 empty orbitals. So initially the 4s electrons are present here, but now 4s electrons are shifted to the 3d orbital, and these unpaired electrons are now paired up because of the strong field ligand effect of carbonyl ligand, which is a very stronger ligand according to the spectrochemical series. Now this point we will see in the next video, that is what is a strong field ligand and why the ligand is a strong field ligand. So basically in this last step, that is the formation of NiCO4 molecule, here we can consider that there are 8 electrons and there will be no change here in the 3d orbital. So the change will be here. You can see that the electrons are now donated here by the carbonyl. So these are the 8 electrons donated by the 4 carbonyl. One carbonyl ligand will donate the 2 electrons. So similarly the 4 carbonyl ligands will donate the 8 electrons. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, so 8 electrons that are here donated by the carbonyl ligand. So in this way we have seen that the hybridization of this molecule is again sp3, as we know that when the molecule has hybridization sp3, the popular geometry resulted for this hybridization is a tetrahedral geometry. So NiCO4 is a perfect tetrahedral molecule which has a sp3 hybridization. You can see that again the similar type of geometry is resulted, that is a tetrahedral molecule. So the famous molecule like methane, and this is also NiCO4 is a tetrahedral because of sp3 hybridization. Now you can see that the magnetic property of NiCO4. So here is a no question to calculate the magnetic property, because we have seen that all the electrons are paired in the 3d orbital. Hence the magnetic property will be ultimately 0, because there is no unpaired electron is present in the 3d orbital. Whenever the electrons are unpaired, then they will contribute to the spinning, due to their spinning motion of electron, magnetic property will be generated. But here you can see that there is no unpaired electron, so the magnetic moment will be cancelled, and hence the value of n will be here 0, and by putting this value into this formula as a 0, overall magnetic property will also 0. So that NiCO4 is a diamagnetic molecule because there is a no unpaired electron, and at the same time this molecule is diamagnetic in nature because of 0 unpaired electron. So this is what overall about the NiCO4 molecule. Now let us consider the ApCl4 molecule. Again we will consider the hybridization geometry, then magnetic property for this ApCl4 molecule. So friends, here you consider firstly, as there is a negative charge and also the negative ligands are attached to the metal in this complex, so we will assume the oxidation state. We will calculate the oxidation state for this particular complex. So here you see that there is a one negative charge present on the complex, so give the equal sign and write down this -1, and you calculate the particular charges here. For Fe we assume the x. For chlorine there is a -1 charge on the chlorine, so 4 chlorine ligands are there, 4 chloro ligands is equal to -1, so -1 into 4, so here is equal to x minus 4 is equal to -1, so x is equal to -1 plus 4. By shifting this -4 to the RHS, it will become a positive quantity, and by doing the algebraic sum, x is equal to +3. So oxidation state of Fe is +3 in this complex. Now the atomic number of ion is 26, and again it has a valence electron configuration is 3d6 4s2. Now we know that we have calculated the oxidation state of Fe as +3 in this complex, hence it has now 3d5 and 4s0 is the electronic configuration by losing the 2 electron from s orbital and 1 electron from d orbital, because the Fe has +3 oxidation state in this complex, it will lose its 3 electron from 2 from 4s orbital and 1 from d orbital. So let us consider the next, that is the formation of ApCl4- on the basis of PBT. So we have already assumed the valence electron configuration, that is 3d5 4s0 for Fe3+ in this complex. Again this complex will available the empty orbital that will be equivalent to the coordination number of this complex, that is 4 orbitals will be evacuated by Fe in this complex. So formation of this complex, that is ApCl4- on the basis of valence bond theory. So valence electron configuration we can consider for Fe3+ as a 3d5 4s0. Now d orbital is accommodated, 3d orbital is accommodated by 5 unpaired electrons, and these are the 4s and 4p orbitals which are empty. Now let us consider the valence electron configuration of Fe3+ in excited state. Again you can see that the d orbital is occupied by 5 electrons, accommodated by 5 electrons, and 4s and 4p 4 orbitals are provided, empty orbitals are provided by the metal. So here the metal Fe makes available the empty orbitals so that it can accept the lone pair of electrons that will be donated by the chloro ligand. So here is the formation of ApCl4- molecule. You can consider there will be no change in the 3d orbital, and the 8 electrons that are donated by the 4 chloro ligands will be accommodated into the empty orbitals 4s and 4p. Now you can see that the 4s and 4p orbitals are completely filled by 8 electrons, and the s1s orbital is utilized for bonding and 3p orbitals are utilized. So hence the hybridization for this complex is sp3. So again we can see that whenever the hybridization is sp3, the molecule geometry is tetrahedral. So that is what the important point. So again we can assume that the magnetic property for this complex. So what is magnetic property? Again the magnetic properties can be calculated from this formula. Mu s is equal to under root of n into n plus 2. Again here n is a number of unpaired electrons present in the d orbital. So here you consider the number of unpaired electrons are 5. So hence the value of n will be 5. So depending upon this number of unpaired electrons, the value of n will be changed. So here you see that the value of n is 5. Put the value of n as 5 in this formula, that is mu s is equal to under root of n into n plus 2. Here the value of n is 5 because 5 unpaired electrons are present in the d orbital. By doing the calculation, so 5 into 7, that is under root of 35, that value will come, that 5.91 Bohr magneton. So as there are 5 unpaired electrons in the complex, FeCl4 molecule is paramagnetic or spin free or high spin complex. So depending upon the magnetic property, we can calculate the magnetism in the complexes. So friends, I hope that you learned something from this video regarding the valence bond theory and how to assign the bonding in complexes depending upon the valence bond theory. So in this video we have interacted about the bonding in complexes for tetrahedral complexes. In the next video we will interact about the bonding in complexes for octahedral complexes and square planar complexes. So those who missed my first video can find the link in the description box, and you can see the first video of valence bond theory part 1 related to the some basic concept of valence bond theory. Thank you very much for watching my video.